Welcome back. U.S. lawmakers ramping up efforts to advance the stalled Clarity Act aimed at bringing regulatory certainty to crypto markets. The bill facing a Senate standoff over stablecoin reward rules, whether crypto players can pay rewards for customers moving money from traditional banks to the crypto platforms. The White House stepping in to broker a deal, setting a March 1st deadline to move the legislation forward before the midterms. Joining me now is the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, back with us. Brad, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much for being here. So you've predicted an 80% chance that this bill is signed by April, saying that clarity is better and obviously than uncertainty. Tell us where you get that expectation.
Well, I mean, to some degree, you can never predict exactly how Senate and Congress is going to act. But
unless you're in the prediction markets.
That's, we should talk about that, too.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Look, actually, the prediction markets around this point, around the Clarity Act, spiked because of some comments yesterday from Senator Moreno, who has been an advocate. I think it's now 90% it will pass by the end of April. I had said a couple weeks ago, I thought end of April. At the time, people thought that was a little optimistic. There's a meeting today with a lot of leaders on both sides, the crypto and banking, in the White House. Actually, it's in 30 minutes or so. Ripple's chief legal officer is representing kind of Team Ripple there. But the White House is pushing hard on this, and I think that is a big reason why it will get done. It needs to get done for U.S. leadership. President Trump has been a clear leader and put the stake out there that we need the U.S. to be the crypto capital of the world. That's good for U.S. competitiveness, and that leadership from David Sachs and Patrick Witt in the White House have been really critical around this.
So what's the Ripple position in the meeting today?
Our position is very much don't let perfection be the enemy of progress. No bill that gets to Congress or gets through Congress, no bill's perfect. And I think that it got stalled because I think some in the industry were kind of pushing for something a little bit more perfect. Our view is we need clarity. Ripple has been fortunate, and we got sued by the U.S. government and had a federal judge say XRP is not a security. We have clarity. Yeah. That's brilliant.
And you got that clarity in the Genius Act.
We did get, the stablecoin market got that clarity in the Genius Act. But the industry, the crypto and blockchain industry in the United States, needs the same clarity that Ripple had to fight for in the courts. And I think for this
that
industry,
XRP is a security.
The XRP is not a security.
Okay.
And that's what the courts ruled very clearly. And so we were very happy to have that. But the whole industry can't live in limbo. And so our argument is the Clarity Act, it needs to get done for the industry to thrive here in the United States.
So how do the rules differ when you're overseen by the CFTC, since the CFTC will oversee non-securities and the SEC will be in charge of securities?
Correct. So if something's a security, you have all kinds of obligations because if you own part of a company, it's a security, then you get dividends, you get right, title, and interest to governance rules, who you elect to the board of directors. That's not true in the crypto industry. And that's, I think, the false narrative that the Biden administration, the war that the Biden administration waged on crypto, ultimately failed in the courts. And I think it failed the United States, failed the people of the United States. And I think trying to push it into a securities framework that was developed literally 80, almost 100 years ago, never made sense. And I think the courts have clarified that. And if we get the Clarity Act passed, I think the whole industry can continue to thrive here.
Very good. Meanwhile, we're talking about a pretty good sell-off in prices. Give us the impact on Ripple. I mean, when you see crypto like Bitcoin down, what, 50% from the highs, others down 40% from the highs, what's behind that and how has it impacted Ripple?
Well, look, I think one of the things is what we're talking about right now, the lack of clarity. And I think as the Clarity Act got stalled in late January, that certainly didn't help. Look, Ripple had a tremendous year in 2025, and we're starting 2026 in a really strong place because there's more interest from CFOs and treasurers and even boards of directors saying, hey, how could we be using these technologies to make our systems more efficient? Stablecoins, to me, are the starting line. That's where it starts. And it gives experimentation of, OK, now I can move my money 24/7. I can move it more inexpensively. And so stablecoins are the starting point. But blockchain and crypto infrastructure can really change payments broadly. We're seeing that from the Treasurer's office. We're seeing that around what we call prime brokerage services to provide liquidity. Ripple, partly through some acquisitions we did last year, is in a really strong spot as we start the year. To your point about the crypto markets, XRP actually has been the best performing major crypto this year. It's down about 20%. ETH, for example, is down about 33%. And I think the more we demonstrate real practical utility using these technologies to solve real problems, the more you're going to see that play out in a positive way.
Let's go back to the acquisitions that Ripple has made, spending $3 billion on acquisitions since 2023. You've expanded into custody, prime brokerage, treasury management, stablecoin payments, also launching a new treasury platform. How do you continue to scale this up? You had the $1 billion treasury deal aimed at deepening institutional integration. Brad, give us a sense of where the company goes next with all of these businesses now.
So Ripple has been very focused on how do we build bridges between what we've called traditional finance and decentralized finance, or crypto. And those bridges are kind of the core of where our products sit. What we found in buying a company in the treasury management services business, for example, G Treasury is the name of the company, now called Ripple Treasury, but they processed or orchestrated about $13 trillion of payments last year.
Wow.
0 of those payments were crypto enabled. 0 of those payments were stablecoin enabled. And again, what we're seeing, they have over 1,000 customers, corporates that are using their technologies. What we're seeing is those treasurers, those CFOs, even the CEOs are pushing. They want to see how these technologies can make their systems unlock capital that's been trapped overseas, for example. So we're seeing that push. And now we have a great suite of solutions to introduce crypto to those. But today, again, there's 0 overlap between the crypto solutions and what G Treasury had in the past. So it's bringing those together.
So are you expecting more acquisitions then in terms of scaling it further?
We bought two big companies last year. And so the first half of this year is very much on let's pause. Integrate. That takes some work. I was actually in Chicago yesterday where the G Treasury is headquartered. And, look, I'm incredibly excited by the direction of travel we're seeing. Both of those acquisitions are way ahead of our forecast when we bought them. So we're very happy with that. But for the time being, we're going to slow down for a minute before we speed up.
But you've seen, corporate America spend, hundreds of billions of dollars try to adapt to this new world that we're seeing. On a practical level, tell us how things will change in financial services with regard to the digital asset story.
So Ripple is focused very much on the corporate customer. And so I'll answer that less from the consumer point of view and more from the corporate, right? So if you're a treasurer and managing, a balance sheet that has hundreds of millions of dollars in 10 different bank accounts around the world in different currencies. Even Workday, for example, they hadn't hedged some of their foreign currencies and had a $700 million markdown because they hadn't hedged. And what really a big piece of Ripple's business now is that CFO dashboard. Give me visibility to all my liquidity, even if it's held in stablecoins, even if it's held in digital assets. Because as we've seen, more and more companies are saying, we want exposure to this asset class on our balance sheet. And so seeing that all in one place, being able to manage payments, being able to hedge risk, understanding liquidity, getting yield, because a lot of these, it's interesting, we see that portfolio and hundreds of billions of dollars are sitting dormant in, a 10 basis point yield account that could do much better.
What did you make of the Clarity Act getting stalled because partly you had the folks at Coinbase saying, look, we don't like the language here when it comes to the rewards. Is that the only or main sticking point here? What else needs to be done to get that legislation back on track?
So it is definitely the main sticking point, and I think you saw the vast majority of the crypto industry kind of leaning in and saying, hey, while this may not be perfect, this is a major step forward, and we need that clarity. I do think, the way I think about it as you back up, we need a level playing field for both sides. You've seen the CEO of Goldman Sachs, David Solomon, come out and kind of as an advocate for the Clarity Act because Goldman Sachs wants that same level playing field to compete with potentially crypto companies. I love that. That means the traditional financial industry is coming into the crypto industry more and more, and they want to make sure for them to compete, they have those clear rules of the road.
Very different than what you saw, for example, from JP Morgan a couple of years ago.
The tides have changed significantly. And yes, Jamie Dimon has gone from saying very negative things to saying some pretty constructive things. I think as you zoom out and look over the next 10 years, that's going to continue.
Wow. A real changing backdrop here for finance. Brad, great to have you this morning.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much. Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple. Stay with us. We'll be right back.